Hey guys, it's Thomas here, and today I'd like to show you how to use and simplify the RGB tone curve. And as the letters imply, they're made up of three standard colors. That's your reds, blues, and greens. And you can adjust all of them individually, but today I'd just like to focus on the main or basic RGB tone curve. So let's go check it out. So this is what a basic RGB tone curve looks like, with the darks, the midtones, and the highlights. Here when I grab it at the midtones and move it up, the picture overall gets lighter, and vice versa. When I move it down, the picture overall gets darker. Since the midtones here are pulled up and the line decreases as we move towards the highlights and towards the darks, the photo generally looks more natural if I use these adjustments. And if you get lost, you can just right click and reset the curve as it was by default. And now I'd like to split up these two sides because I'd like to show you how to adjust just the highlights and darks individually. So when I grab it here in the darks and move it up, you can see that the shadows lighten up. And when I do the opposite and move it down here, you can see that the darks in the photo get much darker. I'll reset that and do the same thing up here in the highlights. When I move them up, you can see that the lighter parts of the photo get much lighter. And when I move it down, the opposite happens. I'll reset it. Next, let's look at another way we can take advantage of the tone curve. So for the next task is improving contrast. And just for you guys, I chose a photo that, it's a little bit lacking. I mean, it's a pretty photo, but I definitely think we can tweak it up a bit. So let's go to the darks, shadows, and move them slightly down. Ooh, it's already much better. And here in the highlights, I'll move them a bit up. Yeah, that looks a lot better. So we made a little bit of something called an S-curve, which is quite typical. And it really spices up this photo a bit more. And it's a tool that should be part of your arsenal or your tool bag. It's really simple, but it's something that can really change your workflow. And just to see it before and after, simply click here. Not so nice, a lot better. Now that we've gone through two tips on how to use the tone curve, I've still got one more for you. And here in our final photo for today, I'd like to show you an effect called the matte effect. And it's something that a lot of photographers and people use nowadays to kind of give their photos sort of a retro look or just a different flavor, if you will. And the way we do it is here on our tone curve, we isolate the blacks, and I go all the way to the end of my curve, and I just slightly pull up on the darks, and you can see that the photo becomes sort of, has like a matte look, and the shadows themselves move more into like a gray, or just a grayer tone than before. And this gives you a completely different look of the photo. So here's before and after. I think both are very cool. It just depends on your taste or your flavor. It's up to you, but this is how you do it. And that's it. So I hope this video was helpful for you and that you take something away from it. And if you like it or want to comment, maybe you have some of your own tricks and tips and own methods that you've used with the RGB tone curve, please let us know below. Other than that, I'll see you later. Have a good one.